and welcome to Main Street Matters by Heart on Main Street, the podcast that knows that we do just fine on our own, but we're always better together. I am your host, Patrick Kaiser. This is episode 9 of our Summer Book Club series covering the book Why We Buy by Paco Underhill, my favorite business book and a fantastic lesson into the science of shopping. We're almost at the end of this series. It has flown by. As we work towards a close, I recommend that you go back and listen to the other episodes in this series if you have not done so already. Or even if you have, it helps our metrics and helps others find our podcast, so you can still listen to them again and again if you want to. We have covered so many great lessons in this book, and I think there's been a lot of value for retailers included in these. I'm getting a little sad that this is coming to a close, if we're going to be honest, but I do plan to continue this concept for the summer. So remember to like, follow, and subscribe to the podcast so you can be alerted to our latest episodes. And if you have liked this, give us a rating. Again, it helps others find us and helps them learn too. And if you haven't enjoyed this, well, then don't worry about the rating. It's completely fine. Before we dive into today's episode, I wanted to mention that our 10th and final episode of the Why We Buy Summer Book Club series is going to be delayed. I've been releasing these on a Monday and Thursday schedule, but this week I'm going to be in Asheville, North Carolina, helping a store rebuild after last year's hurricane. Heart on Main Street is bringing down a group of 15 volunteers to Asheville to work with the store Dogwood Darlings. We will be painting and landscaping and patching walls and all the things necessary to get them ready to reopen later this year. This is Heart on Main Street's first rebuild project, so I am incredibly excited about this. You can follow along on social media by following @Heart on Main Street. I'm sure there's going to be tons of pictures and videos of our volunteer group. So I'm very excited, but that does mean that we will not be getting episode 10 out until later next week. Anyway, on to lesson number 9. We always want to find the best placement for our products within the store. Your sales reps might even request to have the most prominent display in the entire store, featuring all of their products in one place, and ask you to develop this extensive in-store feature for their brand, promising that there's going to be significant returns on that investment. They'll say that by doing this, you're going to be reordering from them in no time. And from a brand perspective, this makes sense. Keep all of their items together and the customer will see the full scope of the line offering in one place. It will help the brand build its identity and help the customer recognize that brand by sight. But this is limiting, and by definition, not every brand can have the best placement in the entire store. There's really only one or a few locations that really fit best. And this can be an effective way to represent a brand within your store. But I'm here to suggest that this might not be the only or even the best way to display a brand's merchandise. The magic spot or massive display might help with sales of a product, but it might not. And you might spend more time and effort attempting to create this space for a particular brand than it's actually worth. And if you do want to do this for a line because it has a significant impact on your business and you know it's going to work, then by all means, give it the best placement available. But great sales can be made by rethinking traditional merchandising and focusing more on how the shopper buys. Paco Underhill's Why We Buy explores the psychology of shopping, which can be leveraged to create more effective product locations that boost sell-through and introduce new brands to your store. In today's episode, we are talking about how the placement of one item next to another can help sell one or both. Underhill calls this the art of adjacency, a strategy that can inspire us to find new ways to increase our sales. So slide on over, put your mind next to mine, it's book club time. When I talked in a previous episode about our right-hand bias, I spoke about how placing a less popular product to the right of a popular brand can help sell it because of people's right-hand dominance and not wanting to reach across their body. For a retailer's perspective, the most popular brand should go in the dead center of the display. It attracts the eye, but for the competing brand, it's best to be directly to the right of it. 90% of people are right-handed and reach with things with their right hand. Even the 10% of left-handers have adopted social practices of the other 90% and tend to carry a basket on their left arm and reach with their right as well. Generally, we don't like reaching completely across our bodies to grab something. So if you're standing in front of that popular brand and making a decision to look elsewhere, whether it be because of price, ingredients, or maybe just to spice things up a little bit, the customer will tend to reach for something to the right of that popular brand. This is an element of the art of adjacencies that can help sell a product when it's positioned next to a competitor. But that's really a minor usage of the technique. The phenomenon of using one product to help sell another or both is really most powerful when positioning a product to become an add-on sale. It's a fact that 80% of sales come from about 20% of your customers. The secret for retailers is not necessarily working to obtain more customers, but working to sell more to those who are already visiting your store. This is, in a major way, the entire purpose of Why We Buy. It's a book about how retailers can make their stores more appealing to customers, encouraging them to spend more time in your store, interact with more items, and ultimately buy more things. The art of adjacency takes this concept and amplifies it. It presents products in the most easily consumed fashion, bringing together all sorts of items that the customer is looking for in a curated collection made just for them. Mostly. We generally think of add-on as items that you place at the counter, like candy or mints or even a chapstick or stickers, something that shoppers will buy while standing there. Impulse buys are certainly add-ons, but add-ons can happen anywhere throughout the store. If we expand our thinking about add-ons to be not just an impulse item, but something that's intentionally merchandised in a way to get the shopper to add to the sale, well, the possibilities expand exponentially. One of the easier ways to think about this is through fashion, so we'll start there. If a shopper is going to buy a shirt for $60 and add on a pair of $24 earrings, that's a 40% add-on. Toss in a $12 bracelet and you've increased the sale by 60%. Again, most retailers are not making most of their profit by finding new customers, but by selling more to the ones that they already have. So one way for the store to increase its sales is for the sales associate to make suggestions. Wouldn't this pair of earrings or this bracelet go perfectly with your new shirt? But honestly, who likes to be sold to? Another way to achieve this add-on is to merchandise the items next to the outfit and let the juxtaposition talk for you. All of a sudden, it's the shopper's idea to buy them, and who doesn't like it when you've had a stroke of genius all on your own? It is in this section that Underhill has what I believe is the most relevant and most poignant comment in the entire book. I've referenced it before, but I'm going to give it more context this time around. He's describing a bookstore called Book People in Austin, Texas. Underhill writes, "Around the store, the owners have added merchandise category themes to each particular section. Puppet hats and masks in the children's book area. Relevant clothing, jewelry, and candles in the spirituality section. The checkout area has Keep Austin Weird shirts, unusual confections, and Book People branded chocolate bars." This store isn't just selling books, it's selling to people who like books. That last line about selling to people who like books, or fill in whatever product category you want, I see to be transformative to how retailers can approach merchandising in their store, and with the brands that they carry and how they sell to their customers. They aren't just selling an item, they are selling an image, a feeling, a look, and a lifestyle. Since we're still in summer, let's focus on something like outdoor furniture. Outdoor furniture can be and probably should be a standalone product on display by itself, sure. But what else are people thinking about when they might want outdoor furniture? Outdoor gardening supplies or tools to clean their patio bricks? Think of a merchandise display focused on outdoor furniture that sets the scene for a perfect patio environment. You have the tables, the couches, the chairs, the cushions, and maybe even an outdoor umbrella to set the stage. The retailer has placed a pitcher of lemonade on the table, which of course that pitcher is for sale too. What else helps set the scene? Maybe a wind chime or a blanket for those chilly summer nights. If these products are merchandised in a setting that reminds the buyer that they want them, they will sell, even if the larger setting of the outdoor furniture doesn't. It's the imagery and the feeling that sells the product. Let's zero in on one of those add-ons from this scenario. It could be advantageous for the store to have a display rack of all of the wind chimes elsewhere within the store. But the scene creates the motivation, and the retailer isn't so heavily reliant on people deciding that they want a wind chime on their own accord. Maybe nearby the patio section is a screen or a station where customers can look through a catalog of different chime sounds and choose the one they like the best. This allows them to use as many senses as possible. They've seen the wind chime. They like the idea of the wind chime for their patio that looks just like the patio that you've laid out. And now they can go to the screen, they can touch, they can hear, they can get the whole experience of that product. The same could be said about the blanket. You could have a display of blankets elsewhere and it would do well, but by having it tied to the larger scenario reminds the buyer that, yeah, I do get cold at night when I'm sitting outside. Having swatches of different available styles that the customer could go over and see and feel and touch, having those nearby the inventory can help expedite the sale. When we change our thinking to this mindset, the possibilities are endless. Candle stores are great, but they can often limit themselves by just focusing on the signature product. And I'll use candles here, but this can be for any single product-based retail store. Candles just happen to fit this idea exceptionally well. Soaps, shops, or shoe stores, or stationery stores could be other examples. Many candle stores are frankly boring with their merchandising. There are different scents and shapes of vessels, but it's pretty one note, no pun intended. It's candles on tables and shelves. And when we expand this concept that you're not just selling candles, you're selling to people who like candles, we open up more doors. What else may those people enjoy? The calm, relaxing feeling of a bath? The fresh sense of a newly cleaned home? What about campfires or Christmas or books, bachelorette parties even? Different scents can appeal to people who like different activities. By selling to that activity, to the feeling and needs of those who enjoy that activity, this can open up a wide range of product and merchandising ideas to present to them. How can you merchandise other items with candles to help sell a theme or evoke a feeling of coziness, cleanliness, or even a party? What would you do if you didn't impose your own limits on what your store sells and who your customer is? This might add that extra zing that's needed to increase sales. Another example, if you sell pajamas, it is likely that you are an apparel store and, depending on the style and design, maybe a children's store. Yes, you can put pajamas out in a pajama section and hang them on hangers for your customers to stumble upon and decide that they need them, and they will buy pajamas if they're so inclined. But what else would people who like pajamas like? And what would they want to be buying? What else would someone buy when they have decided that they want to buy a new pair of pajamas? If I was buying some new jammies, I might treat myself to a new pair of sheets or pillowcases, maybe a sleep mask, maybe some nighttime routine bath and body products. With these items merchandised all together or near each other, I'd swoop them all up without even thinking about it. Those are add-on sales. I went from buying one set of pajamas to 3 to 5 other items because it felt right to buy them all at the same time. Remember, you're not selling pajamas, you're selling nighttime comfort and relaxation, and the pajamas that you sell just happen to be a part of that. If you can master the art of adjacencies, the world opens up to you. You are no longer fighting about floor space, but collaborating on floor space that's already allocated. You are no longer pigeonholing yourself to certain products that fit your store, but thinking wider and broader about how your customer will buy and what products can fit into their shopping decisions to complete the image. When you're looking at your store, figure out adjacencies by standing near one item and asking yourself, what else is on your mind when you're looking at this? What would complete the picture? If you can begin to think about the other items that you weren't thinking about before and how they would fit into the scenario, then you're beginning to master the art of adjacencies. That is it for this episode today. Again, episode 10 will be coming out next week. So until then, stay safe, shop local, and keep your heart on Main Street. This episode was written, produced, researched, and edited by me, Patrick Kaiser, with a very special thanks to Paco Underhill and his book, Why We Buy. To learn more about Heart on Main Street, you can visit our website, heartonmainstreet.org. And to contact us, you can email contact@heartonmainstreet.org. Thanks. Bye.